Are you ready to uncover the hidden treasures rattling in pocket change and resting quietly inside old coin jars across America? Because today, we're diving deep into 3 Washington $quarter coins that look ordinary at first glance, but carry extraordinary stories, rare varieties, and eye-opening values that have stunned collectors and auction houses alike. From transitional metal mysteries to dramatic mint errors and high-grade condition rarities, these quarters represent a powerful turning point in United States coinage history. This is your ultimate value and history guide to the top 3 rare and most valuable Washington $quarter coins from the late 1960s. Coins born during silver shortages, economic pressure, and sweeping change at the United States Mint. Let's begin. 1966 Washington $quarter coin. The 1966 Washington $quarter stands at the heart of one of the most dramatic transitions in modern American coinage history. To understand its importance, we must rewind to 1964, when the United States was facing a severe coin shortage. Rising silver prices, hoarding, and speculation were draining silver coins from circulation. The government responded decisively with the Coinage Act of 1965, which removed silver from circulating dimes and quarters and reduced the silver content in half dollars. By 1966, the Washington quarter was no longer struck in 90% silver. Instead, it was minted in a copper-nickel clad composition, an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This shift marked a new era. The 1966 quarter is part of the first full year of clad coinage for the denomination. Interestingly, to discourage collectors from hoarding newly issued coins, the United States Mint made a controversial decision. No coins from 1965, 1966, or 1967 would carry mint marks, regardless of where they were struck. That means every 1966 Washington quarter lacks a mint mark, even though production took place primarily at the Philadelphia Mint. The obverse design features the iconic portrait of George Washington, originally sculpted by John Flanagan in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth. His dignified left-facing profile dominates the coin, with liberty arching above, "In God We Trust" to the left, and the date 1966 position below. The reverse carries the powerful heraldic eagle, wings spread wide, clutching arrows and olive branches, symbolizing readiness for war and desire for peace. United States of America curves around the top. E pluribus unum sits above the eagle's head, and $quarter anchors the bottom. In terms of mintage, the 1966 Washington quarter had an enormous production run of approximately 821,101,500 pieces. On the surface, that makes it common, and in circulated condition, it absolutely is. Most examples and worn grades are worth face value or slightly above. However, this is where condition rarity transforms the conversation. High-grade, uncirculated examples of the 1966 quarter are surprisingly scarce. Because collectors were still adjusting to clad coinage and many coins were mishandled or poorly stored, pristine specimens are much harder to find than the mintage suggests. In grades like MS66 and above, values climb dramatically. Certified examples graded MS67 by leading grading services have sold for several $1,000s. In rare instances, superbly preserved pieces with exceptional luster and strike quality have crossed the auction block for over $10,000. But beyond high-grade examples, errors and varieties make the 1966 quarter truly exciting. One of the most famous and controversial rarities associated with this date is the 1966 quarter struck on a 90% silver planchet. These are transitional errors, coins mistakenly struck on leftover silver blanks from 1964 or earlier. Since silver quarters were officially discontinued, these pieces were never intended to exist. Authentic examples are extremely rare and highly valuable. When verified, a genuine 1966 silver quarter can command tens of thousands of dollars, depending on condition. Other notable errors include double die obverse, where design elements such as the date or lettering show clear doubling due to misalignment during the die creation process. While not as dramatic as earlier double dies in U.S. coinage history, strong examples can bring hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Off-center strikes are another category of collectible error. Some 1966 quarters were struck significantly off-center, leaving part of the design missing while retaining a full date. These visually dramatic pieces are highly desirable, with values depending on the percentage of off-center strike and overall eye appeal. Clipped planchets, where a portion of the metal blank is missing before striking, are also found among 1966 quarters. These mint errors create curved or straight missing sections and can sell for several $100s or more. Then there are struck-through errors, where debris interfered during the minting process, leaving unusual impressions on the coin's surface. Each of these errors tells a unique story of industrial production at high speed during a turbulent period. Collector interest in the 1966 Washington quarter remains strong, particularly among those assembling high-grade registry sets. Since no mint marks were used, condition is everything. Collectors compete fiercely for top population specimens graded MS-67 and above. The coin represents not just a denomination, but a historic turning point, the definitive break from silver coinage for everyday American transactions. So while millions were made, few survive in pristine condition, and even fewer carry the dramatic mint errors that elevate them into five-figure territory. The 1966 Washington quarter is a reminder that rarity is not always about low mintage. It's about survival, condition, and unexpected mint mistakes. 1967 Washington quarter dollar coin. If the 1966 quarter represents transition, the 1967 Washington quarter captures momentum. By 1967, the United States Mint was operating at full throttle, determined to end the coin shortage crisis. Clad coinage was now firmly established, and production numbers soared once again. Like 1966, the 1967 quarter carries no mint mark, continuing the mint's effort to discourage collecting and hoarding. The obverse and reverse designs remain unchanged from previous years, maintaining John Flanagan classic portrait and eagle motif. But beneath that familiar design lies a story of mass production under intense pressure. The mintage of the 1967 Washington quarter reached approximately 1,524,031,848 coins. That's over 1.5 billion pieces, an astonishing number reflecting the urgency of restoring coin circulation. With such a massive mintage, circulated examples are extremely common. Most are worth face value. Yet once again, the real intrigue lies in condition rarity and mint errors. Finding a sharply struck 1967 quarter with blazing luster and minimal contact marks is far more challenging than raw numbers suggest. Coins were produced rapidly, often with less attention to fine detail and die longevity. As a result, many examples exhibit weak strikes, particularly on Washington's hair and the eagle's breast feathers. In grades of MS-66 and above, the 1967 quarter becomes significantly scarcer. At MS-67, values climb into the thousands. Auction records show top-grade certified examples selling for impressive premiums, sometimes exceeding $5,000 depending on eye appeal and market demand. Among error coins, the 1967 quarter is especially exciting. Double-die varieties exist, though most are subtle. Strong examples with visible doubling on the obverse lettering or date can command substantial premiums. These are carefully scrutinized by collectors and grading experts. Off-metal errors are particularly valuable. There are documented cases of 1967 quarters struck on wrong planchets, including dime planchets or even foreign coin blanks. These rare mint mistakes are highly sought after and can sell for thousands to tens of thousands of dollars depending on the specifics. Off-center strikes remain a popular category. Because of the high production volume, numerous off-center 1967 quarters exist, with dramatic examples bringing strong collector interest. Another category includes broad strikes, where the coin was struck without the retaining collar, causing it to spread outward and lose its reeded edge. These pieces have a distinctive appearance and solid market demand. Perhaps most fascinating are transitional silver-clad errors, similar to those seen in 1966. Although extremely rare, a 1967 quarter mistakenly struck on a silver planchet would represent a major discovery and command enormous value. Collector interest in the 1967 Washington quarter is fueled by registry competition, error hunting, and the broader narrative of the coin shortage era. The absence of mint marks adds a unique historical twist. These coins reflect a time when the mint actively tried to suppress collecting behavior. For modern collectors, assembling a high-grade 1967 example is a serious challenge. Superb specimens with sharp strikes and clean surfaces are elusive, and demand remains steady. While common in circulation, the coin transforms dramatically at the highest levels of preservation. 1969 Washington quarter dollar coin. By 1969, mint marks returned to United States coinage. The coin shortage crisis had stabilized, and collecting activity was once again encouraged. The 1969 Washington quarter was struck at multiple facilities, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia issues still carried no mint mark. Denver coins bore a D, and San Francisco produced proof versions marked with an S. The total mintage for the 1969 Philadelphia quarter was approximately 176,212,000 pieces, while the Denver mint struck around 114,372,000 coins. Additionally, the San Francisco mint produced over 2.9 million proof quarters for collectors. The design remains John Flanagan enduring portrait and eagle reverse, but the return of mint marks adds renewed collecting appeal. In circulated grades, 1969 quarters are common and worth face value. However, high-grade examples once again become condition rarities. MS-67 and above coins from both Philadelphia and Denver are scarce and valuable. Premium auction results have exceeded several $1,000s for superbly preserved specimens. Proof coins from San Francisco are also highly collectible. Deep cameo or ultra cameo examples, featuring frosted devices contrasted against mirror-like fields, are especially desirable. Perfect PR-70 graded proofs can bring strong premiums. The 1969 quarter is also known for compelling error varieties. Double die obverse have been identified, with noticeable doubling in the date and lettering. These pieces can sell for hundreds or thousands, depending on strength and condition. Off-metal errors continue to fascinate collectors. Quarters struck on dime planchets or other incorrect blanks represent significant mint mistakes and command substantial prices. Clipped planchets, broad strikes, and off-center strikes are found as well, each offering unique visual appeal. Collector interest in the 1969 Washington quarter is bolstered by the return of mint marks and the availability of proof issues. It represents the stabilization of American coinage after a period of economic uncertainty. In top condition, these coins are fiercely pursued by registry-set competitors. And among error specialists, rare varieties can command astonishing prices. Together, the 1966, 1967, and 1969 Washington quarters tell a powerful story of transformation in American numismatics, from silver to clad, from suppressed mint marks to renewed collecting enthusiasm. They remind us that even modern coins can hold remarkable value, hidden in plain sight. And the next time you see a worn quarter dated in the late 1960s, take a closer look. Because history, rarity, and surprising value might just be resting in the palm of your hand.